Hello, I am the Manx Pleb, and Sammy is awesome. Anyway, you may have noticed that I deleted my first YouTube video, which was of course a not so quick look at automation, which you may not have noticed, but I post a lot of videos about this game. So the reason I deleted my first video is because it was completely cringeworthy. I hated it that much. I just thought, right, that's going, I'm going to do an updated version and see where it goes. So this is the updated version, and since I posted the other video, like my very first video, this game has been updated, and it's actually getting quite near to another big update which should happen in a couple of weeks, so expect a video on that also. So let me just start off with, in simple terms, what automation is or is going to be. Automation, as you can see in the top here, is going to be a car company tycoon game, where pretty much you create a car company starting in the 1940s, like after World War II, and basically you create cars, build engines, build basically everything to do with the car from the ground up: suspension, wheels, engines, all the looks and all that kind of thing, and you attempt to run a company through till the year 2020. So that is kind of what it is in simple terms, and you get to manage your business and do advertising campaigns and all things like that. But because obviously this game is still in alpha and it's still in development, all those features are still to come. So all we have at the moment is we can play multiplayer, and scenarios is basically let's just click into one of these actually. So if you click on green missile, here you get given a little brief saying what kind of engine you're being told to make, and then you have to build it meeting these limitations and specifications and things like that. So pretty much it's just building engine for like a specific purpose. So I think we'll leave those alone for this video. You can also play, you can't play the campaign yet obviously, because that's what's going to be pretty much the whole game, all the tycoon aspect and things like that, but obviously it's still in development, that's still to come. But the main game mode now, or at least the one that most people have a lot of fun in, is the sandbox mode, where pretty much you design and build cars and engines to your heart's content. So obviously I've already created a couple of models and things, but for the purpose of this video we're going to start new. So here you can see you can build the chassis from literally from the ground up. So the chassis type we're going to go with monocoque because they're lighter than the ladder chassis, which is what this thing is. So monocoque, I think we're going to create a sports coupe type thing. I don't know, let's go with that. So material for the chassis, glued aluminium, because we're going to make this an expensive beast. Longitudinal engine, which means we can get four-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, which is what we want. Front suspension, we can either have McPherson strut, which is pretty much the all-round suspension, or double wishbone, which has good kind of sportiness and handling, but not very good, well, you can see here, compactness low, off-road low, load capacity low, but we're going to stick with that because it's going to be a sporty coupe. And then double wishbones on the back because more sportiness, and aluminium for the panel material. So that's the chassis done quite quickly, and then we hop into here where we can pretty much design the shape of the body. We get these bodies to choose from at the moment, but I do know in the finished game there's planning to be at least 50 bodies to choose from, and when you pick a body, if I pick this one for example, in fact I think we'll use this for our car, you can push and pull all these body parts and make your own shape. You can, I don't know, make the end pointy, flare out the wheel arches, because who doesn't flare out the wheel arches, and make it very long, sloping back. See, look at that, we've made an old Aston Martin or 911 or something like that. So yeah, so imagine the customization options where you get all of this customizing of the shape on 50 different kinds of bodies. That is some customization, so many unique cars and all that stuff. So at the moment I didn't count how many bodies there are, but as you can see there's still quite a few, and you can make so many unique cars. But again, there will be a lot more bodies added to the game, but I believe at the moment what's being worked on the game at the moment is car designer scenarios. So basically it's like the engine scenarios I showed you earlier, except you design the car as well to certain needs and stuff. But anyway, let's just move on and do this car first, and I'll talk more about the game later. So we'll make it yellow. Now here is probably, in my opinion, the most fun part, probably because I know nothing about engines, so I just like designing cars. Here is where you put on fixtures, so that would be headlights, grills, exhausts, things like that. So I'll probably spend way too much time than I need to making this car, but you know what, I don't care because it's fun. So we'll make, I don't know, that looks quite good. Keep that as it is, make it look quite angry. And then, bog standard. You know what, actually no, I find those headlights quite ugly, it makes it look like an alien. So, delete them, go away, thank you. And I think, let's try these. In fact, I don't know what the difference is between these two sets of headlights. I'm going to actually try and see. So, that's what they look like. And then they look pretty much the same, I mean, if they're put next to each other. In fact, I think they are the same, I'm not too sure. I don't know. Anyway, I just like to point something out. The reason why the graphics on this video look quite jaggy is because my laptop is basically a pile of crap, so I have to run this game on medium settings with no anti-aliasing or any of that stuff. So if you play this game on high settings, it will look a lot better and you won't see any of these sort of pointy edges and little glitches and stuff. But for me, because of my crap laptop, I kind of have to stick with it. So I'm sorry about that. Stick a little badge on there. In fact, that looks really bare. I'm going to put a couple of vents. Look at that. Perfect. There we go. See, so basically we're beginning to shape our car out already. But it looks a bit squashed together, to be honest, but I'm not really spending too much time. There, I'll call that good enough, even though it does look quite ugly, in my opinion. We also have a set of little bonnet scoops and vents and stuff we can put on here. So, there we go, nice and big. And so basically you just shape your car out from there, place fixtures and all that stuff, which I'll probably just throw a couple of fixtures on here really quickly. I mainly spend most of my time working on the front of the cars. There we go, nice and simple. And then tail lights. Let's just pick these because they match the headlights. Although I know they do look pretty ugly. Let's see, exhausts. In fact, now let's have some Zonda exhausts. So put them like that. Put these like that. There we go. Okay, now what vents can we put on here? Click on it please, thank you. And then flip them. There we go, that's good. It's kind of like it's sort of sweeping down, the vents are sort of sweeping down to the exhaust system. See, now that's not too bad. And then this sporty coupe wouldn't be complete without a big ass wing on the back. There we go. Muscle car style. Look at that. So there we... Oh, wait, no. I forgot the badge. You can't do that. There. Complete. So basically that's just a quick thrown together car, but I'm sure I could do much better if I spent a lot of time on it. In fact, let me move that down a little. There we go. And then here you can see the weight and the cooling capacity of your car. And then you can save it and all that kind of thing. Should I save it? In fact, yeah, because I'm going to make an engine and stuff for it, so let's just call it Pleb. How original. And then save it. And then click out of here. And okay, I've kind of forgotten how to play this game because I am a beta tester for this game. I'm not showing off or anything, but I have access to the closed beta or beta of the game, and it looks quite different to this because of the new UI that's being worked on and all things like that. I will get to that later. I'll probably talk a bit about that at the end, but just mentioning this is that I've kind of forgotten how to play the open public build, so just bear with me if I'm a bit slow. New model, here we go. So the platform, which is what we have here, is pretty much the chassis, the suspension, and the actual body. Now where we are now is the model designer. So here you pick the drive type, so rear wheel drive or four wheel drive. So I'm going to pick rear wheel drive, and then you choose the engine. Now this is the other fun part. If I make a new engine, here we go. So this is the engine designer. And what wouldn't make a sports car more complete than having a big V8? Here we go, aluminium. Right. So here on the side there's some information about what the engine block material actually is, and then what's good or bad about aluminium. But I won't get into that because that's quite boring. And let me just center this camera a little bit. Right. Let's see, 4.5 litres. Should we just pick all the most expensive parts? No, that would be boring. I-beam titanium forged. There we go. So I'm not really too clued up about engines, so I can't really talk for hours and hours about what all these little parts do, but it's fun anyway. I just kind of learn as I go, to be honest. So compression can be... I'll use high quality fuel because that means I can have high compression. If you don't know what this means, then I'm sorry, but I'm probably the exact same as you. If you do know what this means, then I can talk about all this car language and you'll be able to understand me. So VVT, variable valve timings. Let's, in fact, yeah, we can have eco-friendly cam profile and then power VVL. And then you can change the style and all that stuff. There we go, just make it look like that. I'm just going to try and throw something together. Should I turbocharge it? Nope. I don't really like turbocharging engines on this game. I don't know why. I just think, well, I don't know. I just like using naturally aspirated multi-point fuel injection. And there we go. Some good quality fuel, premium unleaded there. And there we go. Tubular exhausts for the power. And let's see. Oh, power limit per pipe, and I've got 2 pipes, so that seems about right. Catalytic converters for the environment. You can't forget about the environment and those poor little squirrels and stuff. One thing one thing I do like about the engine designer in this game is when you pick a fuel system, like well actually I can't go back now because I've already selected a fuel system, but if you pick these fuel systems, I really can't talk today. These fuel systems all look different in the middle of the engine, and I think they all look really cool, and you can see sort of little differences, like the difference between single point electrical fuel injection and multi-point. It puts a little cover on the I'm just going to take a complete guess because I really don't know anything about engines, but spark plugs. I've heard of the term spark plugs before. I'm probably going to get my head ripped off now, but you know, thought I'd give it a try at guessing. But yeah, I do just like the way these engines sort of overall look and everything. Anyway, exhausts, what were we doing? Mufflers, you know, for quietness and not upsetting all the neighbours. Look at that, we have our engine. We've just tested it and nothing is broken, which is surprising because I normally break everything. 436. In fact, no, I have an idea. Because the peak power shouldn't be right at the end of the red line. I know that much about engines, because then when you change gear you have no power left. Let's see. come on. This game's being quite slow. Right, I see that's good enough. I'm not really going to spend too much time fine-tuning this engine. It's just to give you a little insight as to the kind of things you can do. So yep, there's our engine. What should we call it? Should I call it Gargling Beast again, like I did? When did I last call an engine Gargling Beast? I don't know. I've got it saved in my engines somewhere. Now I'll call it Raging Beast. I can't think of a word better than beast, so you know, Raging Beast it is. So that's how you design the engine. And in fact, if I just quickly go in here and change my sound settings, because I want to show you how the engines sound in this game, because they sound pretty awesome. If I go on test mode here, we get a whole new screen that comes up, and basically what you can do here is you can manually rev your engine, and then you can see this this little part in the top right shows the overall health of all your parts and stuff, and then down here you've got all the various like dials. Basically, all I like to do is rev the engine to hear how nice it sounds. So here we go. You might want to turn your volume up, by the way. I'm not sure how loud or quiet the game volume is. There you have it. Sounds pretty awesome if you ask me. Anyway, let me turn the volume of that back down. Right. So yeah, that's pretty much the engine designer in a nutshell. Go back to the test mode. Okay, we've saved this already, haven't we? Just in case, I'm going to save it again. No, never mind, I've already saved it. So now we exit out of this and find it. Where is it? Raging Beast, here we go. And we choose engine. So now inside this amazing sports coupe stylish amazingness we have our Raging Beast. Let me just whoops, there we go, in all its glory. Oh yeah, so as you can see in the left here what I just used, this basically lets you cut down bits of the car so you can see sort of the insides of it and the suspension. Well, you can't really see the suspension, but you can see the engine and stuff like that. You can also do this in the engine designer. I forgot to show you, but you can see all of the inner workings of all the little parts moving together and stuff. It's pretty cool. Well, if you know about engines, which I don't. I'm sure I'll get to know them at some point. Anyway, gearbox. There will be more options here obviously, but this isn't really the priority of development work yet. Let's try, okay, double clutch gearbox. Just sort of speed through this. Okay, so estimated top speed is 200 miles an hour, which is pretty good. Oh, that's way too much weight there. And there we go. Wheels, here we go. Sports compound road. We can have very wide tyres to fill out those wheel arches. Here we go, come on. Yes, extremely huge tyres, look at them in their hugeness. Anyway, big wheels for comfort, and then big rims as well. In fact, God, I can make huge tyres. I don't even know where they end. Anyway, so yeah, you can do, this is the model designer, so you have drivetrain, wheels, brakes, aerodynamics, interior, suspension, and then testing, which we'll get to once I've picked all of these parts. Right, pad type. Turn them down for more comfort, and then have massive big race car brakes. 4 pistons, here we go. There, we've got ginormous, monstrous brakes to fill out those ginormous 18-inch rims. Don't really care too much about downforce, but yeah, I'll just leave all that as it is. Interior, it's a shame, but you can't actually customize the real inside of your car and you can't see it, mainly because that would just create sort of months if not years of development time and all that kind of thing. So, and it's really not too important to be able to see the inside of your car, so that's something that's not really going to be too in depth. But obviously you can pick all these options and stuff, like the interior can be basic, standard, luxury, all this kind of thing. I think I'm going to do luxury because, well, because I don't know, because I like luxury. Entertainment, premium, and then just have all these driver assists just in case someone who buys this happens to be a rich teenager who's a terrible driver. And safety, yeah, we can have some of that. And suspension, I've never really been too good at suspensions, but one thing that will be coming in a few weeks in the next big update is suspension presets. So basically you can have normal, off-road, sport, race, or comfort, and that would kind of set the suspension settings to that sort of purpose, just in case you're not very good at judging what would be a good spring stiffness and camber setting and all that kind of thing. But I know low ride height helps with sports cars, so I'll just change that and see what stats we come out with. Okay, so we go at 194 miles an hour. Pretty damn good. I didn't expect it to be that quick. 0 to 60 takes 4.6. Oh well, I'll just sort of look around the car and you can read those stats on the bottom for yourself, because my voice is probably going to go if I read them all out to you. Okay, are you done? I'm going to assume you read very quickly because I'm going to move on now to the detail stats, which basically, if you can see up here, you have the 5 main stats, which when the Tycoon part of the game comes in, that's pretty much what the potential customers will look at as the main stats, and if they're very good, then obviously they'll buy your car. So I think, although I'm not actually entirely sure, I thought they were rated out of 100, but I've saw people make cars on this game which have over 100 sportiness, so I'm not too sure what's the maximum you can actually get out of these ratings. But this is a good all-round car if you ask me. I mean, they're all, the lowest is sportiness somehow, even though it goes almost 200 miles an hour. But hey, I don't know, these stats are still going to be balanced and recalculated and all that kind of thing before the Steam release. So yeah, here we can have yet more stats for you to look at, but they're not really, well, they can be important, but I'm not really going to pay too much attention to them for this video. But now, this is a good part, the test track. Here we have the default automation test track, which was created by the developers or somebody to do with automation. And if you can see, all of these corners and straights are all named after people who are to do with automation or things that are to do with them. So camshaft road, that's because the makers of camshaft software. And now here is my favourite, the airfield track, which looks totally nothing like a Top Gear track, and the corners are totally not ripped off of their names. We have Diesel, Wankel, Hair, Immature, Detroit, Petrolhead, Drive-Through, DevMeth, Greenlight and Release. So the names of those corners are all pretty self-explanatory. Let's run the car around the track and see what the test track simulation is like, because this is new. In fact, I'll turn the volume back up because the car sounds are present on the test track as well, so here we go. Yeah, but anyway, I won't keep this test track going all the way through. So basically that is the test track simulation. Let me just turn off the volume again. So yeah, that is the test track simulation. Again, we have yet more data to look at, track stats. So we can see that my time was 85 seconds, which is 1 minute 25, because it's not calculated in minutes for some reason. But if we click start on the test track simulation, it calculates the time before it does the animation of the car going round. So that's why I have my time already and the car's only there. So 1 minute 25 was pretty good, I guess. I mean, considering it's sort of a luxurious coupe. And And then we can see acceleration graphs, power graphs, body bump, yaw rate. This graph has actually changed in the beta version of the game, so yeah, this isn't really relevant. Well, it won't be in a couple of weeks. Anyway, I'm not sure what most of these graphs mean. I know this is to do with oversteer and understeer. I think this is understeering, not too sure, but the red line is what my car's doing, and I think the blue line is ideal, like no understeer, no oversteer. Okay, what else? If we go back to the overview here, I think I'll talk as well a little bit about development of the game because, well, I don't know. YOLO, I guess. The game's been in development since 2010, I think April time-ish, I guess. Although I only really got into this game like February of this year, but I know quite a bit about it because, well, looking around and stuff on the forums. So yeah, it's been in development since April 2010, and it's come a very, very long way since then. I mean, Automation have a YouTube channel, and if you look at their very first videos up to the videos they do now, it's a massive difference basically has been made since 2010, and it's only going to get better. So stay tuned to this game because it's a very interesting game. There's pretty much no game like it. I mean, there's been games like Detroit and Car Tycoon, but they've never really sort of got as in-depth as this game has. I mean, look at the kind of things you can make. So yeah, what else about the game? There's a forum for the game, which I am on pretty much daily. It's kind of sad, but yeah. So are many other people, so you can go and have fun with those people. And talk to the developers as well. They're active on the forums. There's a live chat, there's a TeamSpeak server thingy where you can go and talk to them as well. And yeah, so the Tycoon part of the game is still to come. I think that will start being worked on in the next few weeks or months, because at the moment obviously there's car designer scenarios. So if I go back here again and show you the scenarios, again I'm jumping back and forth, but hopefully you'll take in what I'm saying. So yeah, again, you know, scenarios, you get a mission brief basically and a set of limitations, and we're going to do, well, in development is going to be working on scenarios for entire cars instead of just engines. So that's exciting, and there's going to be also mid-engine cars are coming in the next few weeks, as well as some new car bodies to choose from. So yeah, pretty much everything is being released to the public as it's completed. So if they're working on, say, mid-engine cars, they would develop it into a very broken version and then hand it to beta testers like me and a few other people, and then we play the very broken version of the game and look for bugs and tell them to fix it and things like that. And that would take a couple of months. Updates kind of come every couple of months, as and when things are completed and made bug-free and things like that. And the game is expected to be completed as a first version of the full game early next year, or maybe the end of next year. It's sometime in 2015, I assume, and it will be on Steam Early Access before then. Or if you pre-order the game now, you get it $5 off the release price when the game's completed. Not to mention you get all of the new features early before the game is actually fully released. So yeah, I think I've said all that you really need to know about Automation. It's a game I really like. It's a game that you'll really like. If you like cars, then you'll like this game. Yeah, I hope to see you on the forums. If you do head over to the forums, my name on that is Pleb, obviously. If you do decide to buy this game, you won't regret it. It is hours and hours, in fact days upon weeks of fun, especially for people who love cars, as I've said before. And even for people who don't love cars and just love designing or something, you know, you can love designing cars and things like that. And I couldn't recommend it enough. I will put the link in the description to go and buy the game or pre-order it if you're interested. As always, stay tuned for the next video. If you liked this video, please give it a like. It helps me out a lot and shows me that you actually like what I'm doing. And if you didn't like it, give it a dislike. Do what you have to do. Tell me why in the comment parade down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I've been the Manx Pleb.